Welcome back to our adventures in Mexico. We're going to be exploring more of the parks, the resort, and also give our final thoughts on Ishcaret Arte.
I'm just having a nice, lazy, somewhat quiet day out of the resort by myself. Still very sick, and after the day of diving yesterday, I feel better, but I'm still very congested, so I do apologize for that. Yeah, I had a call today, so the boys went off, and I think they're at one of the parks, just having a good time. And I've just been sitting around and reading and going in the pool. It has rained like a little bit today, but just kind of like a drizzle, and then it's done. And yeah, I'm just, we have a dinner booked tonight at Renal, and I'm gonna go out and see if I can explore some more. And I want to find out where the speakeasy bar is, even though it doesn't open until later, but hopefully we'll get an opportunity to go in there and check that out. The next few days are just gonna be sort of chill, us just hanging out, having a good time together, eating lots of food. And hopefully the sun will come out. It's been cloudy over the past 2 days, but it's still like, it's July, so it's incredibly warm here. It's very, very muggy, but it's been awesome. And we also found out that because we're in a junior suite, we also have access to the Mexico side. So hopefully at some point I can also go over and check out the Mexico side and see what's going on there, even though that side is even bigger than over here. And so that means more opportunities to get lost over there. So that's kind of a good and a bad. But yeah, follow along, and hopefully we can see more stuff.
To get to the speakeasy, we were directed to go down this hallway that almost looked like a service entrance. But I guess that's part of the fun of having a hidden bar on property. Inside, they have some really cool cocktails here. The only thing that I will say is that they are very, very strong. I only had 2 of the signature cocktails, and that was definitely my limit.
Good afternoon. Today we are actually here in Ishcaret Park. We came the other night for the night show, but today we're actually going to get an opportunity to explore around the park. Maybe we're going to go in the water. I think first we're going to go check out some animals, though. Should be a good day.
This day was very hot, so most of the animals were either sleeping or hiding from the sun. You probably can't tell, but there is actually a jaguar in that tree. After about an hour and a half of walking around in the heat, we decided it was time to go into the lazy river for a nice, refreshing dip. absolutely love manatees, so I was so happy to be able to see them. The only thing is that I wish their enclosure was actually a bit bigger.
We just got back from having dinner. We had some awesome sushi. We spent almost the full day out at Ishcaret Park, and it was insanely hot today, very, very humid. We were in the river for about an hour. We swam the entirety from the start of the track to the bottom of the track, and it was really good. The water was about 22 degrees, but because it was so hot out, didn't even get cold whatsoever. Even though we were coming on Wednesday to go to Ishcaret, it was still very busy because of the fact that schools are all out for the summer. Other than that, yeah, it was a really good day. We did screw up and we didn't bring our water shoes. So yeah, that is definitely something to keep in mind if you're going to Xcaret Park. Make sure that you're bringing your water shoes. Make sure that you're bringing a towel for all the water activities. The other thing is too, if all the animals were very much in hiding just because of the fact that the sun was just blazing hot today. So for like the tapir and the jaguars and everything like that, even the monkeys, they were very much hiding from the heat of the sun. So we didn't really get an opportunity to see the animals too much. It was a great park. It's very big. It is a lot to walk around in one day. But we have kind of split it up where we did the night show earlier in the week, and then we did see some of the park today. So we also didn't see any of the shows or anything like that, which I imagine are like the daytime shows and things like that are probably very, very spectacular. We didn't get an opportunity to see any of that today. We're going around, the three of us with a 17-year-old. So yeah, there's been plenty of things to do between being at the resort itself and then also being at the parks. Even though we've had 10 days here, we've always had something to do. I would say it's definitely one of these places, like between Xcaret, Arte, all of the parks and everything like that. Easily, we could spend 2 weeks here, not a problem, and we wouldn't run out of things to do. So yeah, we're just gonna get some sleep. Tomorrow's sort of like a free day for us because of the fact that we don't have anything specifically planned, and we also don't have dinner reservations that we need to run off to. So tomorrow is just gonna kind of be a day where we get to do anything that we want to do. So we might do some park hopping, we might chill out for a little bit at the resort. Who knows? Anyway, gonna get to bed. Absolutely exhausted. Yeah, tomorrow is a new day.
We visited Xplor 3 years ago when the flume ride was still under construction. Even though my husband and his son were here the other day, I made them promise they'd wait for me to try it out.
So we're back at the hotel now. We were in the line for the flume ride for an hour and 15 minutes. We did get there at about 12:09, and because we had an odd number of people, we did have to wait for another person to show up because you have to go on with 4 people. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get any video footage going down the ride because of the fact that I would have needed to prepare with either a chest harness or with a strap to go around the helmet for the camera. But I will tell you, the hour and 15-minute wait, 100% worth it for the experience of the ride. It was a really, really awesome ride, and we had so much fun doing it. It was just that the wait kind of in the sun wasn't great, especially since it's super hot today. And then we went on the ATVs, and I was specifically trying to see monkeys because the other day when my husband and his son were there, they saw a whole bunch of monkeys on the ATV ride, and I wasn't there. After we got off the ride for the ATVs, we hadn't seen any monkeys, but then I was able to capture some footage when we were leaving Xplor to come back to the resort. So hopefully the video of the monkeys came through. There was actually like a mama monkey who had a tiny little baby strapped to her chest. It was absolutely adorable and so amazing. They were sharing a banana. Cutest freaking thing ever. Blew my mind. Absolutely loved it. Tomorrow, all day long, we actually are going to do the Cenotes tour. That's basically our last full day of activities that we have planned, and then the day after that is just, I think, a day where we're just kind of chill. We also have Encanta, which is the tasting menu that's included with our stay on the night, on our very last night, and then basically we have to pack and get ready to leave because our transportation out of the resort is at 8 o'clock in the morning on the day that we leave, which really sucks, but they want you to leave 5 hours before your flight, and that's just the way it goes. So we're just gonna chill out here for the rest of the day, and yeah, that's where we are.
Up first on the Cenotes tour was the kayaks. Our second stop was what they call a Cenote snorkel. However, they only gave us masks that fogged up a lot and no snorkels. On the third stop, you could either do the monkey bars into the water or the hammock swing. The fourth stop was by far my favorite. We started out by using the slide. I even managed to do the monkey bars, even though I have no upper body strength. You then have a beautiful swim that takes you closer to finally being able to have lunch. Even though we were very hungry at this point, I figured what the heck, might as well jump off a cliff. The last stop of the day was really cool, and we got to rappel down into a cenote.
So we're just getting ready for our final day here at Ishcaret Arte. We had a very long day out at the Xenotes tour yesterday. The whole thing takes about 8 hours from, traveling out there, which is about an hour and a half, to traveling back, which is another hour and a half, but it's also in afternoon traffic. So it is a very, very long day. I am a little bit sore on the shoulder from doing, I think it was the monkey bars and stuff like that, and I got some water up my nose, but it was an absolutely spectacular day. Some of the caveats were that the transportation was a little bit sketchy in the morning. They wanted us to go on separate transportations because they said there was 2 seats available in one and 1 seat available in the other. And they said, don't worry about it because of the fact that we're all going to the same place, which is not accurate because come to find out, you do everything throughout the day with the people that you're on the transportation with. So if we had been split up, then we wouldn't have seen the one person throughout basically the entire day, because you get an itinerary and then that specific transport is on that itinerary. So anyway, it all turned out fine. Basically, they put us all on the same transportation, so the 3 of us were together. I think somebody in the process might have been a bit confused because we had booked ahead, but they said that booking ahead doesn't guarantee you a seat. And I'm kind of like, well, what's the point of booking ahead then? Anyway, it all turned out fine. Everything was great, but that was it was a little bit weird. And we've had some issues with transportation before, where just sort of the directions on where we're supposed to go, what we're supposed to do, just hasn't been great. And it's probably partially our fault too, just because we don't speak Spanish. We're only English speakers. If we spoke Spanish, I think it would be a little bit easier for us to get around. So that's just something to also keep in mind. The activities were great. They're a little bit quickly paced and things like that. So it's very much, okay, do one, get on the bus, go to another. But I mean, we didn't have a problem with it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Also, the lunch provided was really great. It was a little bit later in the day though. It was around like 1:20 that we actually were able to finally have a meal. So we left at 8:40 in the morning. My recommendation is always just to have something to eat before you go. I did not, where the boys did, so I was quite hungry by the time we were actually able to have lunch. Other than that, 100% would recommend the Cenotes tour. Make sure that you book it early. I sent a request to the hotel about 28 days in advance. That was the other thing. I didn't get the wish list at the 30-day mark. I did actually have to email the hotel to be able to get them. So just keep that in mind. And I mean, we're also coming in July. So because of that, if you're coming during the summer months, 100% book in advance. I would say it's probably the same around March break area. We 100% recommend it, and don't miss out on booking the Cenotes tour. You will not regret it. It is such a beautiful, magical day.
Our very last day at Ishcaret Arte was very much laid back, and we decided we were just going to explore more of the resort. Because we were in a junior suite, we also had access to Casa de los Artistas. I hope I'm saying that right. This is an adults-only rooftop pool and bar, and I really wish I had come up here sooner. We just finished our final dinner here at Ishcaret Arte, and we went to Encanta, which was the 7-course included taster menu, and I would have to say that was absolutely incredible. incredible.
That was really good.
The food was just out of this world. We also did the included pairing with it.
Yeah, don't look at each other.
Yeah. We've had a little bit to drink at this point, so yeah.
Yeah, they weren't. They went hard on the pairing.
The pour was very generous.
Yeah, it's
I
true.
think.
Yeah.
Is what Caleb is trying to say. So we've come down, as I said, to our final night. So I think the final thing that we're going to address is basically what our final thoughts are on this entire resort and our stay over 10 days here. So we have a couple categories to go over to determine if we think this is the ultimate luxury resort inside of all of Mexico. So I think the first that we're going to address is going to be the room overall that we stayed in, which was the Junior Suite Ocean View, which was an absolutely incredible room. We had more than enough space for 3 people. It was great.
It was beautifully furnished, beautiful layout, tall ceilings. I loved a lot of it.
Yeah. The only things that I would say about it is that we have had some issues with the room, as I said before. So we had problems with the air conditioning, which we needed maintenance for. We had problems where both toilets, so in the half bath and in our bathroom, wouldn't flush. So we had maintenance in for that. We also had the sliding wooden door separating the living room from the bedroom. That was completely off of the track when we first came in, so we also had to have maintenance come in for that. There are some things where I would say that there's some wear and tear starting. Yeah.
Props to maintenance. They came in very quick after we called.
Yeah.
And they worked on everything, so.
Yeah, oh yeah,
props that way.
absolutely. And I mean, we called one point at like 9 o'clock at night too, and they were in here immediately.
Yep.
But that's also because we're in a junior suite, so part of that is that we have a dedicated butler service that we had connections to through WhatsApp on a regular basis, and they were able to come in and get things resolved very, very quickly for us. So that is one thing to keep in mind when you are staying in a junior suite or any room category above, is that yes, people will be in very, very, very quickly. I'm not sure about any room category below us. However, I will say that there is definitely things around the property that are starting to show some signs of wear and tear.
A little bit, yeah.
Thoughts on the property as a whole, I would say yes. There's some wear and tear issues. So there was some things, there's some brown discoloration that's starting to happen inside of the pools themselves. And there's peeling paint and things like that. It is a property in the Caribbean. You're gonna get things like that all the time just because of the climate. But all in all, personally, I would say for the amount of, art and the jungle setting and everything like that. So between the room and the property, personally, I would give it a 4-star.
Yeah, solid. Yep.
You agree?
Yeah.
You give it 4 stars?
Yes, I do.
Okay. The other thing that we're going to talk about is going to be the food that we experienced on our entire time here. Personally, I would say that the breakfasts were sort of subpar. We didn't find that there was a good amount of a la carte breakfasts available. It was a lot of buffet variety,
Personally, I like to have more a la carte than buffet. Buffet, I'd prefer to have just one, and I'd like to have more a la carte restaurants. We normally stay at the Excellence Resorts, and over there we are absolutely, I find, spoiled for food all around. Whereas, yeah, the breakfasts here were just, they were kind of subpar for me. Restaurant locations were kind of good. The other thing is, as I said, when we go to Excellence, they have a lot of more dining options that are available on the beach itself to like look out over the water and over the ocean as you're actually eating. Whereas for Ishcaret Arte, I didn't find that we had good availability for kind of scenery. Their scenery seems to be a little bit more stuff of like art and almost like even a renal is sort of like a cave like setting. The restaurants are absolutely beautiful. Yeah. I just personally, from where we've been to, I would have preferred a little bit more of like scenery of outdoors, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just spoiled. Yeah,
maybe Mexico was better because we walked over there today and there was a bunch of restaurants that seemed down by the river and stuff, but we don't know. We never experienced. So.
Yeah, we never really fully went over to Mexico, even though with a junior suite we did have, like, we were able to go over there and we were able to also eat at the restaurants there. The only thing is, I will say that, yeah, within 10 days and having activities booked and things like that, it's a lot. Like, I mean, we could have been here for so much longer, but like we kind of just ran out of time.
Yeah, which isn't a bad thing, to be honest.
It's not a bad thing.
No.
But honestly, I mean, I guess it's good when you sort of leave a vacation where you're like, there's still more that we could have done. Mm-hmm. And I wish there was still a lot more that we would have done. But yeah, we just kind of ran out of time for things. Lunches, going back to food. So for lunches, we didn't really eat too many lunches around the property. We had a lot more dinner options that we were able to do. We also took full advantage of the room service that's available through the TV inside of your room. And I would personally give, out of everything that we experienced for food, I would personally give food, breakfast is going to knock it down for me, 3.5.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. A 3.5. It was par. Like, it wasn't stellar, though some stuff was, and some stuff was a little bit below, but yeah.
I think for me, the big thing is that I love breakfast, and like, yeah, if breakfast is not great, it kind of brings it down for me. So I would say at Ishcaret Arte, yeah, the breakfast brought it down for me.
Yeah.
I guess the other thing to talk about when you're coming to an Ishcaret property is the activities. One of the awesome things that you have in the all-inclusive fun that's available is that you have access, as you know, we showed when we went to all the parks. You have access to Xcaret Park, Shellha, Xplor, the Cenotes tour, Senses, which we personally didn't go to. Yeah, there's so much that you're able to do. So you're able to go around the resort itself. The only caveat that I will give to that is that the transportation was a little iffy at times.
We always got there, but the communication was a little lacking, right?
Yeah, that was kind of the thing, is that the coordination of the transportation kind of lacked at times. Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to say about that, is that the coordination of the transportation lacked coordination at times. We were able to get around to everywhere that we needed to go. It was just that sometimes we were sort of left wondering, like...
It's a little chaotic.
Yeah, it was a little chaotic. Nobody was really there telling you, okay, you're on this tour, you go here. You had to figure it all out for yourself. So, I don't know. I'm just the kind of person, I guess, where, like, I like somebody there telling me I've spent all this time figuring out where, like, all of the things that I've needed to book. So I'm just kind of like, okay, you tell me where I'm supposed to go, but maybe that's just me. I'm just being a stickler.
Yeah, you're a stickler.
But I will say, for the activities, they're absolutely incredible. We never at one point felt like anything was overcrowded or anything like that. I mean, there was
Pretty
only
good that way.
Yeah, there was only one experience at Xplor, and that was our fault because we showed up around like noon to go on the flume ride.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
And then we waited over an hour and a half to go on one ride, but like it was so worth it. It didn't even matter.
Yeah,
it didn't even matter.
Awesome,
yeah, it was absolutely incredible.
It's nothing crazy though for those big rides, like at an amusement park. Yeah.
Yeah. It's nothing. I mean, we're kind of used to having to wait in lines for rides anyway, so it's not really a big deal. So it was safe for as far as we've sort of done in Mexico when it comes to activities. I would actually give Ishcaret Arte a 5 for activities.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You can't really beat it. And I mean, it was 3 of us, and we were coming with a teenager and everything like that. I would personally say this was awesome to be able to do if you're in a group of adults, or you're just a couple together, or if you have a teenager with you or anything like that. You're really not going to be able to beat it out. Yep. For activities whatsoever.
Yep.
The only thing is that we're definitely sort of excellence people at the end of the day. But I think that's if we're coming on a romantic vacation, just the 2 of us, we would pick more of a excellence resort, just because that's sort of a brand that we've really grown to love together, and they really cater towards us as a couple and for the romance and everything like that. I wouldn't say, but we were traveling with a teenager, we didn't really get that sensation of romance here at all.
But that may be different for other people.
Yeah, it might be different for other people if they're traveling just 2 people together as a couple. That might be different, but for us, we weren't really catered to as like 2 people having a romantic vacation together whatsoever. This comes down to the ultimate question. Do you think Ishcaret Arte is the ultimate luxury resort in all of Mexico?
I mean, it's very nice, but I feel like I could see better.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
And it's also what you're looking for. But don't get me wrong, I'm not. It's beautiful in so many ways, but
I would agree.
Yeah,
it's a very beautiful resort. I would just say there's a couple things that have probably needed some fine tweaking for us in some ways. There's been just some problems with some meals and the room itself, and also just the fact that there's definitely parts of the resort that are starting to show some wear and tear and things like that. So I mean, really, is it the ultimate in luxury? I would agree. I don't think it is. I would say that if you're coming with a group of adults, or even if you're coming with, you know, teenagers that are 16 plus, and you're specifically looking for a resort that's an amazing resort that gives you access to all of the activities that you're going to be doing, this is the place to be. However, if you're coming to Mexico and you're only going to be doing maybe Xcaret Park or maybe Xplor, I would say the price, I wouldn't say is worth it, to be honest. That's just my personal opinion. I would say the only reason that you're going to be doing specifically Xcaret Arte is because of the fact that you're going to be fully using all of the activities provided.
Which are very fun,
Oh, absolutely. No, it was absolutely incredible. Once in a lifetime sort of thing. Not every summer. Once in a lifetime sort of thing. Because yes, we both agreed that the price tag for 3 people can be a little bit steep.
Yeah,
It's a little bit steep. Yeah. It's a little bit steep.
A little bit a lot, yeah.
Anyway, we had an incredible vacation here. And I guess it's time for us to get back to life.
Back to work.
Back to work, back to life.
Back to doing.
It's time for us to get back to civilization. And I don't know, maybe stop having vacations for now?
No.
Or maybe we won't. Who knows, right? Who knows? Anyway, until next time, bye. You never say bye. Bye.
One more time.
Bye.
One more time.
Bye. No, stop.
Thank you so much for coming along on this journey with us, and we hope you'll like and subscribe.